Good afternoon, everybody out there. This is Arjax coming at you again. I just re-rolled a monk, got him up to level 15, and now I'm going back through the dungeons. This is one of the dungeons that I didn't record on my way up to level 90 with my paladin, and so I'm coming back through, and I'm going to be picking these up and evaluating which ones that I haven't run yet. So this was one of them that I haven't run. One thing I really do like about monks, it's one of my favorite tanking classes. I know some people don't like it, but I really actually do like it. They come equipped with pretty much all the tools you're going to need for tanking right away from the beginning. Way more complete than any other class out there. At level 15, I got an AoE and an AoE throw that makes it very easy to pull and keep aggro. The warrior and the paladin really don't have these things. I'm not very familiar with the druid. I didn't tank him up. I leveled him through dungeons doing DPS and questing, so I'm not too familiar with the druid at low levels, but by far from the tanks that I've tanked all the way through low levels, the monk is one of my absolute favorites. I really enjoy it. He's got this really cool roll technique, also really good for getting ahead of everybody. As you're going to see through here, I'm not really too familiar with playing a monk anymore, so you're going to see me roll back and forth. This dungeon really is kind of irritating because you're going to see throughout this the hunter and everybody pulling, but that's really what it ends up being at these low levels. Nobody really sticks to their roles, so I try my best to pull everything before they do. Also, the warlock's pet apparently is taunting off me. I don't know what's pulling the aggro like that, but something is definitely taunting me. I did mention the hunter and ask him to turn off his pet taunt. He said it was off, so I'm just assuming that it was a warlock. But being as I'm not very familiar with the warlock, even though I have a level 80, I can't really be definitive on what was going on there. It's going to persist throughout the dungeon. I wasn't really worried about it because this is just a really fast dungeon anyways. Very simple, especially if you have heirlooms. Now, if you're looking to get heirlooms and you haven't got them before and you don't have a high-level character, or even if you do, I posted the best way in World of Warcraft to get heirlooms. Is it the best way? I'm not so sure, but it definitely helped me out. I have pretty much every heirloom in the game at this point. I know I'm missing one or two, but if I don't use them, I'm not going to miss them, and it's very simple for me to get them, especially when I have 5 level 90 tanks. Well, 6 now. But either way, back to the point of the dungeon. So these monkeys that you see chained here, you see me release a couple of them. If you don't release them and you hit them, they will attack you. But if you release them, then they'll help attack the other people. So it's not really a big deal to kill them or release them. I like to release them because it seems to speed things along rather than sitting there trying to attack monkeys. So we're going to go in here, and this is the boss room, and as I said, everybody, you can just see right there, the hunter pulled that thing, that guy, and the rogue is pulling this guy, so I'm doing my best to grab up all the aggro, but nobody really plays their role in this very early dungeon throughout my entire thing, and as I am going to level once or maybe even twice in this dungeon, I don't really feel like going back and re-recording it, so that's why you guys are getting this one. I'm sorry that the group really wasn't fulfilling their roles or playing to the standard that DPS and should, but as you can see, it's very simple. So far, we haven't even come close to wiping, and it's really not a very smooth run. I mean, it is, but following the techniques that are supposed to be followed, not so much. So that is that. This boss is pretty cool, pretty easy. You gotta watch out for those AoEs, but it's not really something too desperate. So As you can see here, I really didn't do a whole lot of questing to get to this point. Normally what I'll do is I will try to just level tunes from the rest of the XP. Obviously, my rest of the XP is already gone. I got to level 15. I just really wanted to get back into tanking, so I went ahead and did that. But with the rest of the XP and the heirlooms, you really do level pretty quickly. So I didn't do all that many quests. I certainly didn't finish out a zone before I was level 15. So as I'm going through these dungeons, that's primarily where I'm going to get all my gearing. I may break down and go purchase a couple pieces in the auction house, but probably not. The heirloom pieces by themselves are better gear than mostly what you can get at this level anyways. So it's very, very simple to get through this dungeon, and what you're going to see here is a hunter goes up and he pulls something and he almost dies. And I'm running down here to try to save him. I don't remember if I do. Yeah, I do end up actually saving him, but that's just not playing your role. Somehow the healer died. I don't know what the healer died from. Apparently he ran in front of me. So the healer's down here. Everybody's seeming to attack different ones of these guys at different points. I actually pull out my mass res to mass res the healer. But somebody else apparently already rezzed him. So as I can see by the damage going on, people are attacking things still. It appears that they regroup down here, and so now we're gonna kill this boss. It actually goes really smooth and really easy, despite somebody's minion or pet taunting this guy off me. As you can see right there, he got taunted off, so I taunted him back onto me. So he dies, and then we're going to be going on to the final little run here. I do make a mistake here. As you can see, oh no, this is the wrong area. Where are we? Alright, so there's a little bit more stuff than I thought that there was. So basically just going to continue to pull like I have been throughout the duration of this, pull in as big of groups as possible. I wouldn't really, well, this is a small group, or a small pull really. I'd like to pull bigger ones than I am, but with everybody taunting and the group kind of being discombobulated and the DPS not really fulfilling their roles, I don't want to miss aggro and have one of those things kill them. So that's why I pull a little bit slower throughout this, coming up now. Normally I'd have liked to pull both of these groups together. They're very simple, and especially with my AoE damage, it wouldn't have taken much longer to kill both of these than the single one that we did. But because the DPS really isn't following along, it makes things a little bit difficult. So as you're going to see here, I'm going to make a little bit of a mistake, and I'm going to run towards and stand in one of the cannon fodder areas. They're very easy to avoid, and I missed it, so I got knocked off the thing. And so you're going to be able to see, if that happens, how do you get back up on the thing. And it's very simple. You just follow the thing back to the shore and then get back up there. So I turn around, I grab it, and boom, off I go. So now I'm gonna have to swim back up to the start, and that's not too bad. It's gonna put me a little bit behind, but as I said, nobody's really following the rules of the dungeon, so it's not gonna really hurt the progression of the group, which is kind of a good thing in this case. But that is what it is. So the final boss coming up here, he's very actually easy for this level. I was actually shocked. I hadn't run this dungeon in quite some time, and I remembered it being harder. And, well, you know, one of those reasons that I remember these early dungeons being harder was because the first time I leveled the character through running dungeons, I didn't have heirlooms. So, if you're not equipped with heirlooms, this might be harder, but it was still very doable with a tank without heirlooms, especially now. Everybody seems to have heirlooms, and those who don't, I don't really understand why they don't. It makes leveling very easy, but so we just have to kill these mobs, and we're gonna make our way up there. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually cut this section out for the rest of the mobs. So there really wasn't anything to tell you guys about the mobs. They're just basic mobs, and it just takes an extra couple minutes, and in the interest of not boring everybody running through mobs, I just cut that out. I was going to wait for everybody to get up here as we had some stragglers, but with the flow of the dungeon going the way it was, the hunter went ahead and pulled the final boss. So it didn't lock anybody out. It's not going to be a really big issue. This boss is very simple. I'm keeping him facing the back. He's not the final boss. After you down him, there's actually another boss in the cabin to my left. During this transition, you guys have to kill the vapors. They're very simple to actually kill. They go down relatively quick, and the boss is going to come back out a few times while you're doing this, and you're going to DPS him down, and then he's going to summon some more of these vapors. So as you can see there, he was actually aggroed on the Warlock's pet. So it appears that that Warlock's pet has some sort of taunt, because he's not pulling him off because of DPS. So I don't really know what it is. Maybe it's the property of the minion, but I do know that that minion does have some sort of taunt ability. I also think that maybe this dungeon got remade at a different level, because I remember doing this at a high level character as well. I'm not sure though. But either way, this dungeon is very simple and very straightforward, even for a level 15 who's never tanked a dungeon before. Highly recommend this one. It's actually quite enjoyable. This went a little bit quicker than normal, but at the same time, you guys are definitely seeing all the components of it, and so that's the main point of this, is to get you guys familiar with these dungeons so that you don't feel intimidated like I did the first time I went to queue, and I was like, I'll go tank. What is this? And so when I did that, it was definitely a learning experience, so I'm hoping to be able to help you guys through that without having to do it. So this guy here throws out that bad food. You can actually pick it up, and I think you eat it or you throw it away or something, and it's not really relevant at this low level of dungeon. I do think that this was made into a higher level dungeon, but with this, you can really ignore that mechanic, and as you can see there, the healer and everybody, nobody really got hurt by it. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment below. Arjax out.